Wallace, author of the Hall of Man series and owner of Hall of Man Publishing, and Frank Fiore, host of the Frank Fiore Show. Frank, how are you? And we're ready for another session with Dr. Muhammad, right?
You got it.
Well, let's get it going. Okay, I'm going to give the ability to share screen again, and you guys have questions for Dr. Muhammad. Who's first, Paul or Frank?
All right, Frank.
Okay, me? All right.
Yeah.
I would like you to let me share my screen. I want to show you what I've been doing.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to hit share, and let me.
Yeah, the screen appeared.
Yeah, it appeared. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Let me get to chat. Okay, I'm working on my next book,
Mhm.
and I know what it's about, and I know what's going to happen. Okay. Uh, but I decided that I wanted, in order to start getting some ideas and details of the book, I decided to have a brainstorming session with AI, and
Mhm.
I just want to show you. Let's see if we get to the beginning.
Oh yeah, you can see it's a long chat,
Oh
from
yeah,
the
it was.
scrolling.
Yeah, but I just want to give you some idea. Um, I give you in the beginning to. Okay. I say I want to put a prologue in the hunting party storybook, whatever. I want to include the prologue scene, okay? And so I need some ideas. So the one reason could be that the deputy stumbles upon some incriminating evidence about the. Okay, I know. I told the AI that I want the Service agent to be murdered, killed.
Mhm.
Got to come up with a reason. So it's giving me possible reasons. Okay, and I said, oh, how about the deputy really is a government agent? I said, oh, okay. So they add those. Okay. And then, so let's move on a little bit further. So that means we're going to have a change in the mix a little bit, so that the undercover will be accepted by COVID as being just another of the clients on the hunt. So I'm beginning to develop this thing. I just want to let you know this
Mhm.
conversation is very long. I'm beginning to develop things, and then I come down to reach out. We can okay. Get down to here. So let's discuss the hunting party participants led by Corbett. Give me motives or better motives of the participants. An experienced hunter and an experienced hunter after the elk motive by. So here it is. What I said. Here are the background, the participants, and I'm
Mhm.
working up some motives, but I wanted them to come in. And so this is what they come up with: experience hunted, okay, a good description of the private motive, all right. And then he goes to the secret service agent posing as a hunter. Okay, he gives me those. Um, what the heck did it do?
Yeah, something clicked somewhere. Yeah,
Jumped.
I don't know what
it
the heck
jumped. It jumped further down. Yeah.
it did. Oh yeah. Okay, so anyway, it gives me the participants after I tell them who they are, what the background is a bit. It gives me the motives. Okay,
Mhm.
okay. And we just back and forth talking about them in order to expand their background, the story
Mhm.
background. And it gets to the point now. I said, well, how the heck do these people find Corbett? Okay, how does he find Corbett? And I say, well, okay, let's think about what about put a newspaper article where they interview him. Okay, so it's this way. That's my vehicle to give the reader a background of Corbett. Okay,
Mm.
all right, and so it comes up with that, an article published, and I say, okay, good. So I want to summarize what we've been talking about. Okay, now it says, now I want you to show me the article. I should write the article for me, right? Okay, well, before we find out that there's at that time period, the popular Western newspaper is the Rocky Mountain News. It doesn't exist, okay? And so
Mhm.
it is. They got the whole article here about him. Okay. And then he said, that's fine. Let's add a little bit more. We get a little bit more and more into the article. So this is giving a background on Corbett. It's giving an idea that he's a guide for hunters. And anyway, just want to show you, look, how detailed by just asking them to write this thing. Okay. And I know what I want.
Yeah.
I just told them to write the news article. Okay. And so I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And so anyway, it gets down to the point uh, where I am at this time. But we expanded on the characters, what their motives are. Give me some examples of what their motives would be, and and I just give them a slight one line description of what I think
Hmm.
they're why they're back there, what the intrigue is, and nobody knows anybody else, and that you don't really know who the bad guy is. Okay, and this is just a setup. Okay, because further on, I get into the actual story where the hunting party gets picked off one by one, depending on either by the bear whose cub they killed, or the Indians hunting in their holy hunting ground. The Indians start picking them off, and then and then we have so there's a couple of bunch of different things where I know the story in my head, and it knows because I gave it the outline. But I want to show you how I developed the front end of this and the rationale and the motives that they helped me write. They're not writing the story. Okay, because I know
Yeah, it's very nice. Yeah.
but it's giving me the information. So here's AI acting as a coach. We're having this conversation. This conversation took about a couple of hours, back and forth, back and forth. And now I have enough information that I can go back to them and begin filling out the things, giving them ideas. What about this or what about that?
Yeah.
And that's how AI works. It's not writing my story. It's acting as a coach.
Yeah, even I mean, from what transpires to me from this interaction is that it's almost acting like a friend of yours with whom you bounce your ideas and about your book.
Yes. Yeah.
And because you can even feel that it's getting emotionally involved. Oh yeah, this is so it's giving like some human-like expressions about every twist. And I think that's what they're programming behind is like, how to replace our wives, our friends, our partners. It's trying to emulate that, and I can feel it from this interaction. But it's
That's
right on
that's
point.
that's where I'm wondering where voice is going. I'm going to
Yeah,
be hitting
voice
social
will make
media.
it.
The problem with voice is you still get better output from typing in the chat, especially
Mm,
using 4.5 or doing deep research. And I wish that voice could be the level of where deep research is. And that's something Dr. Muhammad to show them what deep research is like, because that's unreal. What ChatGPT can do with deep research to a level that you can't even imagine, but it takes about 45 minutes
yeah.
per deep research setup. And you just basically have to go and do something else. But that's why I wish that our AI voice can do that. And they can't
I
yet.
think it will come to that level. The AI voice has to add one layer of interpretation, which is text to voice or voice to text. So it's only a matter of computation. They will also reach that level. But here, Frank, um, I think what also is interesting for us to note is that AI is very good at understanding uh, role play and characters, and it can maintain a story even if it involves 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 characters. Sometimes better than us as humans when we forget that that guy didn't have an arm, and then I make him do something in the story and he doesn't have an arm to do that. So that also you can rely on this way that the AI is using. Did I do something? Did I get my character to do something that doesn't make sense with his overall character or his or her overall story? So you can keep on asking for inconsistencies. But this is already very nice. It's building
Yeah.
the story with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, very well done. Well done. Anything we can answer or anything you want to
Well, what
uh,
is this? What is this? Try the agent mode. What is agent mode? That's what
yeah, so agent
is
mode,
that?
yeah, agent mode is a little bit what Neil told you that you can do research, you can create a spreadsheet for you, an Excel, a Google Sheet, or a Word document. You can tell it now, write the first chapter of the book and give me a Word document, and it will give you a Word document. That's the agent mode. It can manipulate your computer, create files, read files, launch the browser, do some research on the browser on its own, and come back to you with results.
Well, what about
Uh,
this making reservations, airline reservations and
yeah,
hotel?
yeah, that's part of the agent mode. So agent mode is about taking actions on your behalf using the computer. That's the whole concept of agents.
But
is
they're
that
not letting
beyond.
it. They're not letting it get to your Google account. They can in agent mode, but not speech to text. Because if you're not doing it in conversational, it's great to have.
Mhm.
It'll increase your speed, but we're getting so used to that voice. Why aren't they
Yeah.
investing as much in the voice? But yeah, it can do everything the agent mode. But you only have a limited amount for the $20 version versus the $200 version, right, Dr.
Yeah,
Mohammed?
that's right. Yeah, yeah. Especially for the deep research, I don't think you can really fully experience deep research with the $20. You have to have the $200 per month package, but you can do a lot already. I think this agent mode just launched last month, because before that they had what they called the orchestrator. That was the first version, but they are merging many things that they had OpenAI into one singular chat, and inside the chat now you can use the agents. So for you, Frank, the agents will will come handy. For example, if you want to create documents or take actions in the browser or in the computer.
Can you use the agents to say I want to make flight reservations from such and such to such,
Yes,
and find me the
yes.
best
With
price?
not with all companies, but with most companies, it's able to book. For example, you can tell it, book me the next flight to New York under a budget of $600,
Oh, wow.
and with
There
only
should
one
be
stop.
agents for in a year. There should be an agent for every software as a service.
Exactly. Yes,
And
that's what. That's
there's
yeah.
going to be an agent for every software as a service. They're going to be talking to each other. It's going to be more about the command versus everything else where we're seeing with
Yeah.
AI.
Yes. Yes. Exactly.
That's good. It'd be fun to just play with that when I have to make reservations to go back east or what hotels to stay in and things like that. And also asking find me the best price for whatever product you're looking for.
Yeah, exactly. It's very good at that. It's already very good because that's the e-commerce they want us to consume, and they want to make consumerism more easy. So it's definitely working already quite well on that level.
Yeah. I worked with a .com startup, uh, and they created a shopping agent. One of the first shopping agents are out there. It's called My Simon. And
Mhm.
they wrote the program and put it on the website and say, "My Simon, find me this, find me that," and it went out onto the web. And back then, this was back in this was back in 2000 and 2005 and so. And back then, something like that is just unbelievable that you could
Oh
ask
yeah,
a computer. Yeah. Yeah. So
but they
they,
were early on their time.
oh, they
They were
were.
in
Oh, yeah.
advance.
Yeah.
Now this is just going to get better. And also, if you notice, Frank, you had to scroll quite a long time. So this is what we call the context window. The context window of AI models is how long they can remember and how much text they can remember about this discussion. And you've probably been discussing for more than 1 hour here.
Yeah, yeah. In fact, it told me you ran out of time. Start a new chat.
Yes, so
Go,
you hit,
whoa,
so
where'd
you
that
hit
come
the,
from? Yeah, and so I said, I just waited and I just asked again, and then it came back and said, okay, here's your answer.
so it's going to start to stutter as you go, because now you're getting at the limit of the context window where it can remember what you said at the beginning. So what this means is that you have to organize your discussions about your book and kind of locate them per chapter, so that you don't overwhelm the AI, because now the performance, I think from here onwards, the performance may go down of the AI.
Also, while it was on voice mode, I have a female voice, and she's giving me answers. Then all of a sudden, for maybe just 5 or 6 words, a man's voice comes in, and then it goes back to the female
Yeah.
voice. What's going on there?
That's like what we used to say in the old time. There is a devil in the machine. There, there are more than one.
Ghost in the machine.
Yes. No, those are things that are variables in the system. So if something happened in the memory and then it forgot that you had that choice for that voice, it will just use whatever voice and then correct itself. These are classic things that we have also in software. When we called it variable bleeding values, so it can bleed and it forgets a little bit the configuration. But well done. This is very interesting.
That was fascinating, and that's acting as a coach. I'm just bouncing ideas off of it, and then it
Mhm.
comes back with their ideas, and I say, I don't like that. I'm going to improve this idea. Blah 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 blah. Again, the point to be made for authors is that AI, if used properly, is not writing your book. It is a coach. It is an assistant, and you could bounce all kinds of ideas off of it.
Yeah.
Totally. And that's the excitement of what real AI is bringing to the table. And till people understand, yes, a lot of companies are saying we're going to replace our employees. Let's see who out. They have no clue. And when they think this, till they find out I shouldn't have replaced this human, I made a really big mistake. It's going to be too late because that
Yes.
person's going to be on to another job somewhere else. And because there's too many bugs in the system. Dr. Mohammed, how can you trust an agent that could foul up and make mistakes, tremendous mistakes for a company? There has
Yeah,
to be a
you can't.
human, there has to be a human involved.
Exactly. Definitely, especially for regulated companies. Because you can't say the AI made the mistake and you're regulated and you missed an operation if it's medical or whatever. So yeah, no, legally speaking, the responsibility is still on the human, and just because of that, we have to keep the human in the loop. But maybe Neil, I'm not sure if it's a good segue, but I wanted to say something to Frank before I forget, if you don't mind. Frank, after you have these kind of discussions, I think one added value that you can also leverage is that you tell it, now that you have all this in memory, output for me the summary table of my book or the synopsis. And then every time after each interaction, extract that syrup out of this interaction. Like try to always extract kind of a summary, a table of content, or a story, or how you call it, a story wireframe or a story navigation schema, just to have that representation at the end, because I think it could bring you some good value that you don't need to scroll through the whole discussion to remember what was the main output and added value that you got out of this chat.
So I could ask you to summarize I don't know, summarize what we have so far. And we get,
Exactly. Summarize it and put it in how you call it, in fil conducteur in French, in a way that things are related to each other in a connected way, that in a flow, so that the story can flow.
well, how would I ask him to do that?
So how do you write your book? Do you usually do a table of summary with all the chapters and sub-chapters? How do you construct it?
Well, I come up basically with the whole idea, and then I
Mhm.
break it down into scenes or
Yeah,
chapters.
scenes. So give it a reference. For example, let's say you have a scene, a Word document from the last book you did, where you organize your scenes in a specific way, and you tell it, this is my template, my work template for creating scenes. Now create for me the scenes based on this discussion and these books. And it will output you the Word document for this scene now. So that's also a lot of job done out of the AI.
And so what I'm going to do is I have this or all this output
Mhm.
consists of scenes 1, 2, and 3, or chapters 1, 2, and 3.
Okay.
I could prompt them in saying scene 1, 2, and 3, summarize scene 1 with a couple of sentences of what scene is in one, and then it'll extract what we've done. And the same thing with scene 2 and scene 3. It's only a few.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. And then
And
say,
you can even ask it to count the words of every scene. If you want to keep control on how far you go into for each scene. So you can don't be shy to ask for analytics from the AI. It can count words. It can count the number of emotional impacts or standpoints. It can count for you. It can give you some good analyticals as well.
okay, good.
Yeah.
All right, Paul, you want to jump in?
Well, this is a fascinating discussion. I mean, it's taking into consideration so much that authors can do at this point. I have probably a shorter question that's been
Hmm.
nagging me for quite a while about reviews for books, for our own books, and it's
Hmm.
can or how would AI approach an analysis of of what reader reviews you already have, and can it identify trends? Like what are people saying really? Is there something overall that people are saying about the book, whether it's good or bad, doesn't really matter. It's like can
Yeah.
they identify the trends and do some analysis on what reviews that you do have? I mean, getting reviews is a whole nother subject,
Yeah.
but I was just looking at how can you what is it that people when they read it, what do they say is interesting, or what do they say is like, oh, here's a plot hole or whatever, you know, and if it's a repeating kind of a thing, so that we can
Yeah.
learn from what our readers are saying. You know.
No, that's actually a very good point, and AI is very good at that. You just need to give it the context and feed the data. So either the reviews are on a website, and you ask it to go visit this website, check the reviews, and give me an analysis on what to improve and what works well. Or you feed it some documents, some Excel document or some Word document or text files. As long as you give it where is the information or what is the information, the analytical job is done very well.
Okay.
Yeah, it can even draw for you graphs. You know, the interface that Frank you were using, you can say, give me a pie chart of all the problems by percentage. And then it will give you a pie chart with those 3, 4, 5 issues. And then visually you can realize as a human where to put the improvements.
So
And plus,
yeah, could you ask it to say, give it the name of my book and give it the Amazon link and stuff and say, what's being said about my book on the
yeah,
web? That's
yeah,
a general question.
it can browse the web, yeah. So ChatGPT has not been traditionally good at browsing the web on demand, but I think now they're making a big progress. There are other models as well, like Perplexity or Claude now can browse the web. I think Krog as well. So more and more you can do that, Frank. You can ask it to go check my Amazon page and do X and Y and Z and give me a
And
summary.
it changed on Grok, used to work, now it doesn't. So
Oh,
I don't know. I think they've
okay.
changed some of the rules because Perplexity created their own tool to search. And I
Yeah,
think everyone else jumped. So it'll be interesting to test some of those things out to see if they'll go search or not. There's just so much you can do. Just say AI, do it. And if they say they can't, ask them 3 times and they still say they can't, then you go to somewhere else. And then that's the
yes.
choice. You know, I ended up purchasing VO3 and I like it, but it's a limit every day. But I like Gemini 2.5, the Ultra, because I asked this, some specific questions, had a conversation, but it limits. Google limits things, and Google's going to hurt themselves by limiting. And then also things we see now, AI overviews are back. They disappeared for a second, and now they brought them back to Google. I don't know why. Maybe there was complaints. So they always are changing things.
yeah. Yeah, these guys are so big and they have so much system that I think sometimes they delete what they've done previously that was good.
Right. And the AI overviews are back in searches like crazy again. So I don't know. Because probably it's Google trying to see how much traffic do we get this week. And it's search engine everywhere optimization. So Paul, do you have one other question before we're running out of time for today?
I don't, but it's kind of interesting now that you brought this up, Dr. Mohammed,
Mhm.
about the competition between different AI models,
Yeah.
right? Is there some way that people can say, "Oh my God, I'm overwhelmed. There's 20 of them out there, or 20,000, or whatever it is." Is there some way that people can say, "Wow, which one's best for me?" How do I determine which one's best for me?
It's a good question, and I think there is another industry that is showing us the way. So, when we're doing programming, we have that ability. We have sort of multiple AI wrapper aggregator. Let's call it an aggregator, and that aggregator is working with 5, 6 AI models, so we can query all 5 of them and compare their outputs. So we're going to get more and more on that for other industries, not only programming. I think soon within one interface, you could ask Gemini, Krog, and ChatGPT different models and see all these 3 or 4 answers coming up for you to compare. And if you notice, when you use ChatGPT, already sometimes they branch out into two answers, and they ask you which one you prefer. So they also do it internally, the A/B testing. It's called A/B testing to see how they can improve their model and what kind of answer you prefer. Yeah, we're getting there. AI aggregation.
There's just so much to do, and it's very complex for anyone. That's why they need a coach like Frank, publishing a Paul, you, Dr. Mohammed, and it just changes every day. I have never in my life seen the game changer. That's why I think a lot of people are getting out of the marketing business, because it just changes day and night. You can't do a fly by night and keep a cookie cutter and say we have it's customization for everything, and it's going to get a lot of businesses out of the business because they don't want to be customized. They're looking at the billable hours, and they're looking at the specific things and saying, you're customizing this, you're customizing that. It's going to be worse.
Yes.
Starting next week, I will be launching my own AI campaigns, where I'm going to be talking about AI, especially voice. And I'm going to teach people all the options that are out there involving voice. It's not just ChatGPT.
Nice.
And I have another one that I'm telling you could be the game changer. Don't know, because again, ChatGPT 5.0 could be he says they're scared because they're going to aggregate everything together. No more confusion when 5.0 comes out this month. So be ready.
Oh, this month.
5.0, yes.
Well,
5.0 comes
that
out
could be a
this
big
month.
surprise.
Oh, it's going to be a game changer. Let's see if they are, well, like AI agents has been garbage compared to what they predicted. Let's see if OpenAI can do something on that end. And the AI race war begins. It is a big war. And whoever's going to win that one, I don't know the battle. It'll be interesting. So appreciate it, guys. Go to rtila.com. Go to frankfiore.com and the Series.com. Appreciate it.